Expansion on the inhale, softening down on the exhale.
You could think about relationships as being a bit like the psychological, emotional equivalent of breathing. We don't go home at the end of the day and go, another successful day of breathing. Aren't I clever? That's not something we tend to do because we're so skilled at it. We don't even know where we learnt it. But if you've ever choked, or anyone's seen anybody choking, you suddenly realize that breathing is everything. Nothing else matters if you're choking other than breathing again. And relationships are like that, I think. They're that fundamental to psychological life and ultimately physical life as well. And I think what Cyrenians are very good at doing is what we might call a trust repair service.
I'm Vicki and I work for Cyrenians. I'm Policy and Participation Manager and I manage our LEAP out of hours accommodation. I was in and out of homelessness over a period of about 15 years. So I spent time in temporary accommodation. I was in a homeless B&B for a while. I also stayed in female-only supported accommodation, and this was all in Edinburgh. In my personal experience, the domestic abuse was certainly a root cause of my homelessness. I stayed in abusive relationships for far too long because of the fear of leaving and what I would then be faced with. If there was more housing available, then it would make it easier for people in my situation to go and seek help if they knew that they had an option. But that isn't the situation currently. So you're presenting as homeless, you don't know where you're going to end up, your self-esteem and your emotions are just all over the place. I think relationships is at the root of everything. And I think having a key person there, it's almost like a snowball effect. So if you've got the right person there supporting you, who knows what other support is available out there, I think it's massively important.
Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. My name's Jockey Stewart. I've been here 10 years, coming on 11. I came here because I was in a bad place. I killed a woman in a road accident. She just stepped in front of me and flew me over. And also at the time in the military in Bosnia and Rwanda, ended up getting divorced and homeless. So I sought help and I came here. I told them my life story and they sat and talked to me and put me in contact with different places I could actually go, like psychiatrists and that and a bit. It's not like the old days, or you're not going to a psychiatrist where you'll be away to a loony bin or whatever. It's just go and try and bring up my mind, try and get my mind back to normal. The Cyrenians helped me a lot. I said, well, would you like to volunteer now? So I started to volunteer with them. And I've never looked back. What they've done for me, it was just like a weight off my shoulders. Wow, people are nice. It's not everybody's the same, thinking, oh, do you want to do this, do that? Oh, whatever. They really sat down with you and talked to you and just make you feel at home, make you feel at ease. And I thought, wow, what a difference. I didn't think there was people like that. Be truthful, I just thought, once you've got a problem, it's, well, whatever, look, somebody with another problem and walk away. It wasn't like that at all, it was the exact opposite.
I think a key thing for me was coming along to Cyrenians. So I first came along to a cooking class and then I started volunteering in the cooking classes. And I did some training down at the cook school and then the job opportunity came up as a cooking tutor. Without the support and the relationships of the people that I'd built at the cook school, I would never have applied for the job. There was a lot of people that had applied, a lot of people with qualifications. I think in many other organisations I would have been completely overlooked, but because of the encouragement and support from the cook school, then Yeah, I went for it. And actually, I got married 2 weeks ago, and Sue, who was the manager at the cook school, made my wedding cake. And Ruth, who also worked at the cook school with me, she was one of my bridesmaids. And, you know, it's just those relationships continue because they've become more than just, I'm here as your worker, you're here as my client. And there's no, you know, it's all about maintaining professional boundaries, but at the same time meeting somebody human to human and empathizing, finding things in common. And you know, it's just human nature, isn't it? We all want to have those relationships and those connections, and we shouldn't put limitations on them and on people over what we think that they are able to do.
Everyone can say, yeah, what do you get with it? What do I get with it? I said, well, my head's sorted. I'm back to doing driving and sorting and picking and everything. I'm having a laugh and joke with all the other guys and lasses that come in here. I say, so what more could you ask for? You've got it back tenfold.
So there was a lady I worked with who, her mantra when I first met her was, I don't trust anybody. Everyone is an asshole. Everyone. And for the first 2 or 3 years of me knowing her, she'd spent most of her time telling me to bugger off and what did I know, and no use of me. Anyway, X number of years down the line, she was at college and she made a lot of use of the relationship with me and I think with other people. And she'd been learning about child development at college and learning about critical periods of development, of when we learn things and when we don't learn things, and been fascinated by the idea that if a child's not exposed to language in the first 4 or 5 years of its life, it will never speak a language fluently. You could learn a language, but it will never speak like this. And so we were joking one day, I said, where do you think you and I are now with the trust thing? Because remember, you don't trust anybody. And she goes, well, I suppose I do trust you, but I think I'll always speak trust as a second language. And I think that's what Cyrenians do. They try and help people learn a second language when their mother tongue has been, I don't trust anyone. And Cyrenians come in and say, other relationships are available, but there's a developmental timescale that's required. It's not going to happen today, but we're going to stick with you for long enough that you might learn a second language and be able to operate in the world and breathe a bit more easily.
That's the way I look at it. We're all one big happy family. A problem, what is it? A problem shared, a problem solved, isn't it? So if you can't solve it in Cyrenians, I don't think you can solve it anywhere. So yeah, why not? Right, Craig.